Previously on Cooking with Angus.
Chef, we're tired of hearing about it. I want to go. We want to see Italy.
Taking my students to Italy, real-life education, that's not a bad idea. But first, you must prove to me that you've learned your pastas.
Fettuccine, annulati, linguine,
And orecchiette!
We made it! We're in Italy! So how did we get here? April and Megan, my GRCC culinary students, were about to discover the simple and rich flavours of Italy. After landing in Rome, we drove north towards Perugia. Perugia is the capital city of the region of Umbria. It's also a well-known cultural and artistic centre of the country. What made me really excited, Perugia is actually a sister city of Grand Rapids, our hometown in Michigan. Girls, let's go. I want to show you a sign. Climbing through the bush to find this sign for you. So here we are, we're in Perugia, and I just wanted to prove to you that it is a sister city of Grand Rapids. And here's a little sign here that says so, and these are all its other sister cities. We should go into the city and find out what it's all about, because it really is wonderful.
Ready?
Let's go do it. Okay, girls, we made it. We're in Italy. Yay! Yeah, fantastic. So I thought we'd start in Perugia, our sister city. Grand Rapids is sister city. Famous for chocolate, for wine, for beautiful food, and for fantastic scenery. Our first stop in Perugia was Sandri, the oldest cafe in the city. There we met Teresa, the deputy mayor, who showed us the culinary and cultural delights of our sister city. Well, Teresa, finally we've arrived in Perugia. How wonderful.
Oh, it's so good to receive my friends from Grand Rapids. Welcome to Perugia.
Thank you very much indeed. The two young students here, April and Megan.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we're
And
going to learn a little bit about the food and a bit about the wine and about the culture of Perugia.
so good to be together today.
Excellent. Now tell us about this historic cafe.
We are in the most ancient cafe in Perugia. When you speak to people of Perugia, Sandri is in our heart, really, because ancient, because tradition, because of beauty.
Tell us how old this building is, though.
Several centuries.
Wow. You ready for an aperitif, girls?
Definitely.
Every event, cultural event or touristic event, is displayed there through sugar sculpture.
The window is really beautiful, girls.
It is. It's amazing.
After a quick snack, we traversed to the restaurant just a few blocks away. Here at Osteria a Prioria, food traditional from this region is made. They kindly let us see the talented chef creating a few dishes with eggs, truffles, olive oil, and bread. So we're standing outside this typically Umbrian restaurant. As the owner, Alessandro, could you ask the chef to explain the dish that she prepared for my students today?
Guarda che bella frittata che abbiamo fatto.
Ok,
Here it is our stracciata al tartufo, one of the most famous recipe from Umbria. It's lightly scrambled eggs with a seasonal truffle and bruschetta.
When are these truffles in season?
Here in Umbria you can find two kinds of black truffle. One you are going to eat today is the summer truffle, known as scorzone. The other, the most famous and important, is the black one from Norcia, called tartufo pregiato di Norcia. You can find during the winter, between Christmas and March.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chef.
Allora, questi sono i riporti.
Back inside the restaurant, we gathered around to have some Peruvian wine and some of that amazing dish.
Coming up on Cooking with Angus.
Teresa, tell us about the wine culture in Perugia.
My first choice for college, GRCC. Why? Because what you learn in 2 years lets you transfer to a university at the top of your game. Because what you save in tuition is worth thousands of dollars. Because the hands-on learning and academic support are second to none. Because the honors program challenges you to do your best, while student life makes you feel connected to the world. All those reasons make GRCC my first choice and the best choice.
At CC, it's a very diverse campus. Meeting people who come from more diverse environments and communities.
GRCC best prepared me, I think, for the university. Like, it wasn't a big jump to where the university had harder classes.
In order to advance myself, I needed to have at least an associate's degree. And it doesn't kill your pocketbook. I'm sure we saved thousands.
I think it's a better experience. This is a lot more personal. I'm glad I came.
I love GRCC because I love Grand Rapids.
I chose GRCC because it's close to home.
I can take my time to decide what I want to do with my life. I love this campus
because it's an affordable way to take basic classes.
I chose GRCC because it was the best place to get reacquainted with school.
Because I love being downtown.
Because it's military friendly.
So I can pursue my dream of being a dental hygienist.
Because it offers the same educational experience as universities.
April and Megan, my GRCC culinary students, were with me discovering Perugia, the Italian sister city to Grand Rapids. After a cappuccino in the town square, the deputy mayor, Teresa, took us inside an incredible museum. The Galleria Nazionale dell'Umbria is the Italian national paintings collection of Umbria. The art here comes from as early as the 13th century and has modern pieces as well. There was even a wonderful string duet performing while we were there. Next, we wanted to learn about the wine culture, so we sat down at the tourism centre with a local bottle and chatted about what it means to make Peruvian wine. Teresa, tell us about the wine culture in Perugia.
Wine is part of our style of life. We love wine, we drink wine, every meal is with wine. And the tradition is so ancient and so good. Umbria is a small region. It's not so renowned like Tuscany or Piedmont, but the production is excellent. If you go to the wine museum, you can understand how important is wine in the history of man here. And being a producer, I can say that the Umbria has a perfect relation between climate, soil, tradition, research, because you have always to look on the future. I think that Umbria, which is an inland region, is so good because there is the cross between south and north, and the climate is mild, never too cold, so it's perfect.
Salute.
So, salute.
Perugia is even more famous for chocolate. It's all over the world, including the United States. So of course we had to stop at a chocolate shop.
Before I came to the States, I bought some chocolate from Perugia. Is this where it came from?
Oh, exactly. Bacio Perugina is only from Perugia.
Okay.
And it has been one of the very first trademark on chocolate. The Perugina factory was founded in 1907.
Oh, wow.
And the Bacio in the early 20s. And this is a Bacio, the traditional one, which is dark chocolate and hazelnut. The first name of this chocolate was cazzotto, a punch. But it was really invented by Luisa Spagnoli and Giovanni Buitoni. They founded the chocolate factory. And afterwards, they decided that punch was too tough, and that kiss, give me a kiss, was much better. So if you say, give me a kiss, that's it. And not only this. And inside, there is a little paper with a piece of poetry in different languages, which is so traditional. You have to read and enjoy.
Hey girls, check this out. See what I found? This is their block chocolate that you could use for cooking. So it's not just eating stuff that they have in here. Remember in our Principles of Food Science class, we retempered the chocolate and we made it really brittle and shiny for coating things. So this is the big bars. We could probably take some of this home and do some cooking with it. Make chocolate mousse. Most European cities have loads of history, and Perugia is no exception. We came across the Marzia door. It dates from the 3rd century BC. It's one of the oldest doors in the city. It leads to ruins of an underground fortress built in the 1500s. This fortress was once part of a massive castle called Paolina Castle. These ancient walls are all that remains today. Well, girls, it's our last dinner in Perugia.
Coming up on Cooking with Angus.
What did you enjoy most about this city? Nicola.
Oh, Angus. Here we are in a typical Trulli in the historic center.
My first choice for college, GRCC. Why? I was ready to build a career. I traded taking notes in a classroom for hands-on learning. I found a program where I can follow my passion. What I'm saving on low tuition will pay off if I transfer to a university. And I know the skills I'm learning will build a better community. All those reasons make GRCC my first choice and the best choice.
I chose GRCC because it's close to home and I like the campus.
Because it's affordable.
Because I love the atmosphere.
Because they have a great photography program.
Because they have a great psychology program.
It has the same activities as any other college.
Because I can get my general classes out the way.
Because it's quality, affordable education.
Because it's close to home.
Because I love Grand Rapids. For medical assisting.
Because it'll kickstart my future.
At CC, it's a very diverse campus. Meeting people who come from more diverse environments and communities.
GRCC best prepared me, I think, for the university. Like, it wasn't a big jump to where the university had harder classes.
In order to advance myself, I needed to have at least an associate's degree. And it doesn't kill your pocketbook. I'm sure we saved thousands.
I think it's a better experience. This is a lot more personal. I'm glad I came.
Well, girls, it's our last dinner in Perugia. What did you enjoy most about this city?
I think my favorite thing was sitting with Teresa today, drinking her Reserva special wine. It was amazing to meet someone who owns a vineyard in Umbria, to taste the wine and the characteristics, and it was just so amazing to meet her.
Yeah, it was really fun. What about you, Megan?
I think my favorite thing was this chocolate. I mean, April brought back some Peruvian chocolate from the States, and I tasted it, and I just had to see where it came from. When we tasted it today, it was amazing.
Yeah, that was very special. I think mine was the eggs and the truffles, because it's just so difficult to get fresh truffles in the US or even anywhere I've ever been, but you know, to get them that fresh and to make a dish that simple and yet that complex, it was just fantastic. Yeah. It really was about the ingredients. And now we're going to have this panzanella salad. It really struck me about the Umbrian people, how they revolted against the salt tax and the way they had all this stale bread and they made this incredibly wonderful salad with the bread and the fresh tomatoes and the vinaigrette, and how clever they were and just using what they had. So I'm really looking forward to tucking in, and I think we should give a wee toast to Perugia. What do you think about that? Before calling it a night, we checked out a huge event happening in Perugia that weekend, the Umbria Jazz Festival. It's one of Europe's biggest jazz festival and takes place every summer right in town. Perugia was behind us, but exciting things were ahead of us. Our travels brought us to the south of Italy, the Puglia region. There, in an ancient town, Alberobello, I reconnected with one of my oldest friends, Chef Nicola Conti. Nicola.
Oh, Angus.
Nice to see you.
A long time.
Long time.
Long time.
These are my students who have come all the way from America, and this is my good friend, Chef Nicola Conti, who worked with me 34 years ago, and then I moved away for a little while.
Yes, you just decided to disappear from the earth. We've been looking for you everywhere.
So since then, we've obviously been reacquainted, and he's been to the United States to visit us, and he is the chef that is going to show us around Puglia.
I'm very happy that you're here because you're going to see the best things you've never seen before, honest.
Great.
Can't wait.
Before getting into some food, Nicola wanted to show us some famous Trulli houses found everywhere in Alberobello. These ancient homes have no cement or mortar, making it easy to quickly dismantle if any Romans came around looking to tax your house.
Here we are in a place called Alberobello. As you can see, all these monuments, the history of these little houses. In the ancient time, people, they would move all the time. They are shaped in such a way that was easy for them to undo this dwelling and move elsewhere, where they could do their own work and left in peace, really. And if you can see on the top of the peak of some of these Trulli, there are some signs. In the ancient way, it was the way they would communicate, or the would call the name of such a family, like a clan.
Say the word again. Is it T-R, truly?
Truly.
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 So they're truly houses.
Truly, I don't know what means really truly, but the definition is because they're conical and they're one after the other. They're like mushrooms.
Yeah.
They grow. To take apart this dwelling, it took no time at all. That's why they acquired that shape. Slating, there's no cement, there's no anything. They're still standing there for thousands of years, you know?
Yeah.
Well, let's go and have a look at them.
Okay. This is one of the first Trullo house that was established in this area, and is one of the only places that has 2 stories. So this is the oldest part of this place they discovered around in the 1500, and they presume this was a kitchen or an area where they were cooking because there's a chimney. After so many years, it's been covered up because then the Trullo has been extended in a bigger manner, and they call it the Trullo Sovrano. Also over there were the bathrooms, which now they're remodernizing, and in the back there was a yard where people were living in here, and then they were using the gardens and the animals. They were farming really.
Coming up on Cooking with Angus.
Here we are in a typical Trulli. Nowadays it is a very good restaurant.
At CC, it's a very diverse campus. Meeting people who come from more diverse environments and communities.
GRCC best prepared me, I think, for the university. Like, it wasn't a big jump to where the university had harder classes.
In order to advance myself, I needed to have at least an associate's degree. And it doesn't kill your pocketbook. I'm sure we saved thousands.
I think it's a better experience. This is a lot more personal. I'm glad I came.
I love GRCC because I love Grand Rapids.
I chose GRCC because it's close to home.
I can take my time to decide what I want to do with my life. I love this campus because it's an affordable way to take basic classes.
I chose GRCC because it was the best place to get reacquainted with school.
Because I love being downtown.
Because it's military friendly.
So I can pursue my dream of being a dental hygienist.
Because it offers the same educational experience as universities.
My first choice for college, GRCC. Why? Because I was ready to take my future into my own hands, and GRCC gave me that opportunity. Because the money that I'm saving on the low cost of tuition, I'll use to earn my bachelor's degree. Because I'm making connections to build my career. Because while I share my ideas with other students, I'm pushed to challenge my limits by my professors. All those reasons made GRCC my first choice and the best choice.
Under a Trulli house of Alberabuelo was Casa Nova, a restaurant built beneath ancient houses. Here we got our first taste of the regional cuisine.
Here we are in a typical Trulli in the historic center. Right down below is very cool in here. You can see because the walls are really huge. It's all stones. And this place used to be an old mill. In the 1700s, they used to make olive oil, which is the main ingredients that we have around this part of the world, okay? Nowadays, they're operating as a restaurant, and it is a very good restaurant. And we will take a look around. We will see the kitchens.
Oh, great.
Okay?
chef of the restaurant first showed us fried zucchini blossoms. Very simply, the flower of the zucchini is battered and fried in oil. It was absolutely delicious. Next, he shared the restaurant's fava bean puree with endive, a typical example of peasant food making a big comeback. The delicious food would continue as the chef prepared little meatballs for us to try as well. These polpettinis contained minced beef and a few basic ingredients like egg, olive oil, rice and lemon. They really were fantastic. Perhaps my favourite was the black olive gnocchi. The black olives give the pasta its dark colour. It's tossed in a tomato sauce and served with basil. Everything we tried was not only great, but very much a part of this area.
Nicola, these fantastic people have again impressed us no end and shown us their hospitality. Could you please extend our gratitude to them on behalf of our school and especially on behalf of our two young students and for being so gracious to us?
Vi ringraziano molto dell'ospitalità che avete offerto.
Di potervi ospitare. Grazie.
It's been a pleasure having us here to be able to give their expression of their good hospitality.
Well, thank you. Salute.
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 Nicola is originally from a nearby town called Castellana Grotto. He explained the town is home to the most famous cave system in Italy, the Castellana Caves. At the end of our day, we decided to see it for ourselves.
I welcome you to Castellana Grotte. Obviously, this is the caves they were given to us not long ago, and we are happy to show our beauty that has been hidden for so many millions of years.
Wow.
Amazing.
It is just massive.
It's incredible that this place was discovered so very recently, in 1938. The caves are 9,100 million years old. They're over 2 miles long and reach a depth of 400 feet below the earth. We could only record the first couple of sections, but believe me, it got better the deeper you went. If you want to see even more incredible stalagmites and stalactites, well, you'll have to see for yourselves.
Next time on Cooking with Angus.
It's ready.
Wow, that looks beautiful.
Jairus, how was it in the kitchen? How was
It was
the chef?
amazing.
So awesome.
And this is a beautiful olive tree. Can you tell us about this tree?
This tree is already over 150 to 200 years old.